What's up guys, this is Amarillo here. I'm going to be bringing you guys a recorded battle for Saving the Metagame tournament. So what this tournament is that the tournament director, Razuri, will start banning things in the tournament that's kind of like controversial in the meta and see how it plays out. So that's a pretty cool idea. So this is round 2 against Hollywood. So what that means is that Mega Steelix, Typhlosion, and Heliolisk, like those 3 Pokemon are banned. So as you can see, like actually my team's like really weak to Typhlosion, but I don't care because I thought he was not gonna bring Typhlosion. Yeah, so my team is Scarf Mesprit, Scarf Special Mesprit. I have a Life Orb Sneasel, Nasty Plot Liepard with Dark Pulse, Copycat, all that good stuff. Kind of fast, somewhat fast. I have a somewhat fast enough camera to like outspeed like Rhydon and stuff. And I have a Pelipper, like max defense, Defog, Scald, and Spike's Ferroseed. I look at his team. He has a Scyther, Xatu, Prinplup, Musharna, Zangoose, and Camerupt. One thing I noticed is that he has the Xatu Prinplup core, which is really good at like not letting the opponent get hazards. Because even if I get past Xatu and not set up Stealth Rocks without Xatu bouncing it back, Prinplup can defog them pretty reliably, so that's a pretty good core to support his either Scarf or Bandit Scyther, and he's gonna be spamming U-turn with that like all game, considering like I have 3 things. Like all my offensive threats other than Camerupt are weak to U-turn. And I actually lead off okay, so there's one thing that I've kind of noticed while playing with Camerupt is that you want to let it mega as fast as possible. Like if you're kind of like this bulky Camerupt, you're a really good pivot to almost everything. Except that if you haven't mega evolved yet, like you're not switching into any neutral attacks without taking like 40, 30, not even 30. 30 is like okay, like you can switch in, but like 40, 50, like that's no good. And like that's how much un-mega evolved Camerupt is going to be taking from neutral attacks. So that's why I lead off with the Pelipper. He also has no water resists other than Prinplup, which doesn't really like getting burned because it doesn't have lefties. So yeah, he really doesn't have a switch into Scald, and I don't want it mega evolve his Camerupt mega evolving turn 1, so that he can switch into Liepard and Sneasel. So I lead off with the Pelipper, he leads off with the Camerupt. This is great because I can just go for the Scald, and there's like nothing really he can do other than going for the Musharna and hoping that he gets the burn with the Synchronize. And I get a crit burn, so that's kind of unfortunate, I guess. And I actually have Rock Helmet, but like, cause the way like leftovers and burn works, like he doesn't. My Rock Helmet isn't revealed just yet. He stays in on the U-turn. That takes nothing. That's most definitely physically defensive. Like, also I have like no attack investment, so like I wasn't expecting to do any damage. I was kind of like expecting him to switch out or like Moonlight, but he goes for the Yawn instead, which is a pretty good play. I go into Camerupt, also trying to Mega Evolve as fast as possible, but he doesn't let me do that. I can't stay in because I need this Camerupt for a lot of things. And judging by his yawn play, he's most definitely gonna bat and pass out. But there's really nothing much I can do about that. So I go into my Scarf Mesprit, which is like a pretty good play because I'm not like letting like big threats get on the field, and I can U-turn out of bad spots. I go into, and he goes out into Scyther, and I was somewhat afraid of Scarf Scyther. So like even though I have Thunderbolt, I'm not knocking out a full HP Scyther. So like I switch in Pelipper on the fairly obvious U-turn, and he takes Rocky Helmet damage. So that's really good because I want him to be knocked out clean by the Thunderbolt or whatever. So I want to wear him down to the point that I can knock him clean with either Mesprit or like Liepard or even Sneasel. So like I can KO it without taking any damage back. Because if I'm not knocking it out clean, like he's knocking me out. As the case is with like most offensive Pokemon. Here, like he's definitely not going for the close combat, like, and even if he did, like, I'm still getting Iron Barb's damage because actually, like, full HP Zangoose isn't like, it's kind of not, as long as he stays at like 100%, like he's not getting knocked up by either the Sneasel or Liepard or the Mesprit. So like, I want to get prior damage on Zangoose so I can knock it out. And I pivot out to Mesprit on the close combat because actually, like, I expected him to like either switch out into camera or like close combat because like there was most Pharisee carry protect, so like that's why he went for the close combat, expecting kind of like somewhat half expecting the protect, and I go for the U-turn here because his defenses are lowered and there's no way he's staying in. Given that he has 2 psychic resists, and he reveals Rocky Helmet on Xatu, and so that was a really safe play because doesn't matter I go for the psychic or U-turn, like I'm taking damage back. And here I make the biggest misplay of the game. Remember I said like I didn't let Camera Mega Evolve turn 1 so that he can't switch into knockoff without taking like 50% HP. But here, what I do is I go for the pursuit instead of the knockoff. Like if you realize like he has 4 things that can like absolutely not take knockoffs. If Prinplup gets knocked off, like that's actually like super good for me as well. But and Camera will take like 40-50% from knockoff. But I go for the pursuit. I don't even know what I was thinking, man. Like knocking like out Xatu isn't even like the biggest of my priorities at this point, but and he goes out into camera. I also don't really agree with this play because like he could have like revenged me with Zangoose or whatever, but I mean like that's okay I guess. And he's letting Camera take the Ice Punch, and he takes that on Mega. So like if judging by that Ice Punch damage, like knockoff would have done tons to Camera Up anyways. But I mean I can't turn back time, can I? So, and also another thing I realized is that actually my Pelipper is slower than max speed Camera Up. Because for reasons like I'm running like relaxed like 0 speed Pelipper because like that's what they do like when I have both Scald and U-turn, which is kind of unfortunate. So like I kind of want to bait out the Camera Up into Mega Evolving so that he gets slower than my Pelipper. So that's why I kind of like sacked my Camera Up. Also, if he had like not max speed EV, speed EVs, like I could have outsped because I've run a fair bit of speed as well. And here he makes his biggest misplay of the game, which is letting Primplup get scald burned. Like, there is no reason for him to risk that. Like, there is, like, absolutely none. He could have sacked his, like, with Sharna, he could have sacked his Xatu. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Xatu's at 23%. It's not, like, doing anything, you know? Like, and he goes into Primplup, and here, like, I realized that if I set up with Libar, I can win 100%. So, like, I expected him to, like, go for, like, Stealth Rocks or, like, whatever, and if I catch him on the Stealth Rock, like, and you turn into Liebard, I, like, win 100%, which is great. But he doesn't let me do that, so that was a kind of decent play to make up for that fact, but that's not gonna cut it. And I go for the Psychic here because his 2 Psychic types are both really weakened. So I guess, like, I don't know, man. Like, if I just knocked off there, I would have, like, put so much more pressure with Sneasel and Liepard, but he doesn't even have a Dark Resist. Like, I don't know. Like, here also, I initially thought about going into Liepard to sweep, but I also realized that the yawn is somewhat fairly obvious, like, and also if he has Healing Wish, he would go for it here. So that's why I go into Pelipper, so that if he yawns, I block it because I'm burnt. If he Healing Wishes, he can't Healing Wish Camerupt, because Healing Wish and Camerupt here will win him the game, basically, I think. But he doesn't have Healing Wish. He just goes through the Baton Pass, which is fine. Like, and he makes another, like, second big misplay, which is letting Scyther take a second Iron, like, Rocky Helmet damage. And the implication of this Rocky Helmet damage is actually pretty big, because this means that I can knock it out with unboosted Dark Pulse if he takes another Iron Barbs damage. Like, he understands that, so he switches out from Ferroseed, and he lets Camerupt take that damage. So, like, I don't know his spread, but, like, at this point, my Dark Pulse from Liepard is most definitely knocking him out. And I go for the sack on Mesprit instead, because I want to keep Ferroseed, so that if I get Rocky Helmet damage, Iron Barbs damage on Scyther, then I have a pretty good chance of winning, as long as I don't get scald burnt by Primplup. My bad. That's a mouthful. And actually, this is kind of like a 50-50, because my switch into Ferroseed is kind of fairly obvious. But if he switches on, like, here, if he attacks onto my Ferroseed, then he's in he's in knockout range of Dark Pulse. And if he predicts that and tries to, like, either sack or, like, sack something, or, like, I don't know, like, sack something or double while I switch into Ferroseed, then I can nasty plot. So he goes for the Aerial Ace, knocks me out with a crit. Kind of mattered, but I guess it didn't really matter. Like, it kind of, like, just got rid of the mind games, because, like, if he didn't knock me out, like, here, then there was, like, a fair bit of, like, mind gaming that could have gone on, because, like, he could have, I don't know, like, he could have just, like, switched out Scyther and, like, done something else, but it's kind of, like, a bit complicated. So here, like, I only have Liepard, and my obvious best play here is going for the Dark Pulse, which has a fairly high chance of knocking him out. Also, I actually have a slight chance of surviving their Aerial Ace, But even then, like, I'm definitely in KO range of just about anything. And +1, +2 Dark Pulse doesn't KO Primplup at the HP it's in without it taking a second turn, like an additional turn of burn damage. So that's why I go for the Dark Pulse. I get the KO, so that was worth it. And Primplup comes in, and here as I said, like, I could go for Nasty Plot or Dark Pulse, but Dark Pulse is the better play because I have a chance of flinching. And he only wins if he burns. And he only burns if he can attack. So I'm trying to maximize my chances of winning. Also, I calced if Dark Pulse actually also never brought him down to Torrent before he attacked. So like another like out he could have gotten is like if he got into Torrent from a Dark Pulse and got a crit on the Scald. But I'm just like maximizing my chances of winning. It's just that like it's just spamming Dark Pulse is just maximizing my chances of winning. So, and here he brings in Zangoose, but I have priority Dark Pulse because I have Copycat, and he gets knocked out, and he only has 2 really weakened Psychic types, and I'm gonna win there. So, yeah, I really misplayed with Sneasel. He also really misplayed with his Primplup and Scyther, just like letting them take all the chip damage so that Liavard could knock them out. Like, I think he should have just like sacked Camerupt and Xatu like a long time ago so that he could have like been at high enough HP to like take 1 Dark Pulse and KO me, unless I got like massive strings of flinches. But he just like let me wear down everything so that I could sweep with priority Dark Pulse. Yeah, so that's GG, I guess. But I think both sides, like looking back at the game, like both sides could have played that much better, I think. Yeah, so yeah, that was the game. And see you guys next time. I mean, I'm not really making content regularly. I don't really know what I'm gonna be doing with this, but I mean, I guess it's kind of fun to kind of record battles and just kind of do a commentary on what I'm thinking while I'm playing. I think it also like kind of lets me improve as a player, which is also nice. So yeah, it was pretty fun trying to record something for the first time. And alright, peace guys. How do I close?